no, 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 no. Okay. No, I'm like so low. I need. I know what I need. No, crap. No, run away. No! So, where to begin? Well, Mow Down had its humble beginnings as nothing but a moving triangle. At this stage, I had a very different idea of the game I'd be working on, currently planning on making a small twin-stick shooter similar to Geometry Wars or Waves. However, after messing around with the character controller for a bit, which, by the way, was built from the ground up by myself, I realised that it made to be a pretty satisfying vehicle controller, inspiring me to get to drawing some sprites. Et voila! I'll be honest, I thought plastering a little green car over the current controller, it looked pretty good. And it even had a little gun to go along with it, as per the twin-stick shooter approach. So, yeah, I was pretty happy with this so far. But I wanted something to shoot at. And so, in come targets. And more targets. And even more targets. Okay, that's enough. The next step was making the vehicle feel even better to control. So, introducing drifting. Now, like many indie developers, I've got a bit of a problem with setting my goals way too high, and I'm really trying to keep them realistic for this project. However, I also start to really want to make a multiplayer party game. So, guess which side wins? Whoa, okay, so a bit has changed with the game now, so let me catch you up on the details. The floor used to look like this, and now it's this. The crates looked like this, and now it's this. The explosions? Yeah, you know what, let's just skip those. Hey, they're pretty good now though. Especially with Bloom. Oh, and there's multiple player objects now, even though I have no friends for them to be controlled by. The actual mechanics of the game were coming along nicely, and the vehicle felt pretty good to drive around. So my next goal was making the first map of the game, which I decided to call the Testing Grounds, look nicer. The idea was that the Testing Grounds was a military facility situated somewhere in the desert, being used for top secret experiments, or, more realistically, multiplayer deathmatches. But what is a deathmatch without kill streaks to inflate your already overly large ego? And power-ups to give that one bad player of the group a chance. Right now, the game was pretty quiet. Well, it was silent actually. So, you know what that means. Sound effects. The next step was adding some more power-ups to the game. The deathmatch mode lasts for only 3 minutes, and adding the power-ups to that turned Mow Down's multiplayer mode into a more fast-paced Twitch shooter, which is what I was going for. By this point, I had a pretty good game set up, but I had been spending quite a bit of time coding and working on actual game logic, so I wanted to take a break and get some art done, of course in the form of a main menu. I'm not kidding when I say I spent about a week on just the main menu, so naturally I was pretty tired of art and wanted to get straight back into coding. I also, in all honesty, was getting a little bored of the car that I had been driving around for about 7 months now. This led me to create some more vehicles and also give them all special abilities. The game already had split-screen multiplayer implemented for couch parties. However, my goal was online multiplayer through Steam, something I'd actually never done before. To spare you the details, 2 months later I had the multiplayer working. Let me know in the comments if you guys would like a separate video on the networking behind Mow Down. Anyway, that pretty much brings us to the present day. After messing around with Steamworks a little bit, I received some beta keys to give out for the very first multiplayer deathmatch of Mow Down. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Oh, and make sure you stick around till the end for the next steps in the development of the game. And here we are, the current state of Mow Down. This is a pretty satisfying game loop in itself, and with a few more different vehicles, maps and game modes, it'd technically be a finished game. However, as per my usual dream way too big mentality, I wanted more out of the game than just something to sink an hour or two into. And this is why I've started work on a single player mode for Mow Down. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments, any suggestions or ideas you may have. Finally, the next video, which should hopefully be out in the next week or so, is where I'll start work on the basic zombies of Mow Down, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you're notified when that's released. Anyway, that's about it. I'm glad you could join me in this wacky journey. See you next time.